Hey guys, welcome to La Verne. We're happy to welcome you here. This is our first development from the ground up. No? So we've done a lot of houses in the past as a contractor building for another developer, but this is our first design and build, and we're very excited to take you around the houses later and to show you the different model houses. But before we go into that, we wanted to actually tell you a little bit about the story of how the company all came to be, how I learned to build houses, how I learned to become a real estate developer. No? So let's go back a little bit to our influences as a company and as a real estate developer and contractor in one. So I was very fortunate because I'm a civil engineer by education and I had studied abroad. So I actually went to University of California in LA, Los Angeles, to study civil engineering. And so I was there for a good amount of time, the 5 years, and another 5 years working for a contractor, abroad. At the time, we were building big projects, roads and bridges. But when I came home here, I was asked to join the family business, And my family goes back 3 generations of real estate development. But when I joined, I had actually no inkling of how to build a house. So the story of La Verne actually goes back to this because having lived abroad for quite some time, 10 years is a very long time, we were influenced by the kind of traveling we were able to do, the kind of houses and architecture that we saw there. So you'll see in this video and in the model houses what kind of houses we were able to build. And these are really influences, or these designs are really influences from the kind of materials, the kind of architecture that we've seen abroad that we thought, hey, kung kaya na lang gawin abroad, why not bring the same designs in here in the Philippines, diba? Kasi design is just design. You can be inspired by design that you see. Nowadays, it's very easy to go on house.com, pinterest.com. We're all on our phones right now. We're on Instagram, right? We see someone's houses. Social media is everywhere. So you can take a lot of these designs, basically study them, and take those ideas and infuse them into the kind of products that you're building. So that's one of the things that we did here at La Verne, which we're very excited to share with you later on. And the other influence that we have has really been shaped by, let's say, our experiences as a real estate developer, having been in the industry for a while. As I mentioned, I have been in the industry for actually a good 7 to 8 years. And one of my first experiences when I first started in my family business, because at the time I didn't know anything, so I didn't even know what I think the term equity meant at the time, but I later on learned what it was. But some of the lessons that I took with me as when I was handling sales and marketing then, and then I handled engineering, was I would see how excited buyers were at the beginning, and sometimes upon turnover, parang nadidisappoint sila pag tinurnover na yung house sa kanila kasi parang hindi maganda siguro yung pagkakagawa ng house. Masyadong parang nagandahan sa brochure, tapos napa-reserve, napabili. Tapos yung dineliver na, ay, bakit ganito? Diba? Parang there's a disconnect, diba, between what's being promised to you and what's being delivered to you. So alam mo naman, syempre, the brokers will promise you heaven and earth, diba? And then the developer has to do the job of delivering that product. So in other words, one of the lessons that we learned was this kind of like disconnect between these two, what's being promised and what's being delivered. So we wanted to address that issue. And in having been doing this for a while, actually in my family business, we were doing this for a while. We were really trying to make our marketing coincide with the engineering and construction. And now in 650 Allied, by the way, is my company with my business partner. So my name's Mike and his name is Rico. And in this company, which we built, which is pretty much a startup company, we said we wanted to bridge this gap together. And that's really one of our goals, because by bridging that gap of what's being promised and what's being delivered, I think you can really, really make the buyers happy, right? And again, I guess number 2 would be when you are able to create houses that have, this kind of mentality na you want to deliver that kind of value to the buyer, and it's not just about profit, diba? You really make them happy. Every Filipino deserves to have a house that has been properly designed, with space, with function in mind, with aesthetics and design, And commonly kasi, parang there's this, how do you say it? Parang there's a myth or like some sort of mentality na dahil ganito lang yung budget ko, hindi masyado mataas, di ba? Ibig sabihin, yung bahay na makukuha ko is hindi rin masyado maganda. Not necessarily. Design and price have correlation, but they don't necessarily mean na parang pag mababa budget mo, necessarily pangit rin dapat yung design mo, di ba? So, this is what we're trying to do is we're trying to elevate the standards of house building, I guess, in our industry, in our as a developer. So if other developers, let's say for example, want to follow suit, then they are actually more than welcome, because what's good about it is that the Filipinos themselves will benefit, because that means we have raised the level of quality of houses that the buyers will have come to expect, when they go to, different residential housing projects and choose among different developers. And, today we want to show you the houses that we have built, and we want to show you, how much thought we put into this, and also as a result, that, when you put a lot of thought into something and you execute it that way, the product comes out naturally as well. So you will see as well na, diba in other developers, the normal style is you go to their subdivision, you do tripping, you see a model house. Ganda ng model house. Parang, it's very dressed up though. So usually parang may na-dress up siya. Marami siyang parang embellishments. So, pag tinanong mo yung broker, for example, or yung agent, kasama ba yan sa turnover? And they will say, hindi yung kasama sa turnover. So, in other words, very dressed up yung model houses nila. Here in this subdivision in La Verne, we did not dress up the model houses except for putting furniture in it. So, you would have an idea of how you might design the space inside when you have your movable furniture. But we did not add anything here, for example, in the model houses, that is not actually included in the turnover. So the houses you see later on, it will be delivered as is. Parang exacto, the same tiles, the same color, the same shade, walang mababawas. And the only thing na mawawala would be the movable furniture, So that's how we want to present it to the clients. No, it's what you see is what you get, because we're not hiding anything. We want to be fully transparent, and we want, for example, yung kitchen, which we highlight in later on. We put a lot of thought into that, because we realize, for example, that Filipinos love to cook. They love to entertain. They love to dine. They love to cook and have guests over. So you'll see that you have a proper kitchen later on, and we really wanted to set this apart from other, you know, houses that we have seen, na parang pagpasok mo sa bahay, parang halos nasa isang sulok na lang yung kitchen, diba? Na parang nasa tabi na lang siya. Which is very contrary to, for example, what the Filipinos love. Because the Filipinos, again, as I would say, they love to cook, they love to dine, they love to have guests over, diba? So, yeah, so let's go to the houses.